Today I'm here in Houston, Texas, and I have the pleasure to see you personally in live and see this legendary car. My very first question is, how do you feel when you hear that someone 10,000 miles away is watching what you're doing, and every single video we can watch, we watch it, and we're really happy about what you do and how do you race? How do you feel about that?
It's really humbling, you know. It's really cool to have so many fans of the car, and you know, I never expected it. It's just, you know, what I love to do, racing. So it's really cool to have so many fans all over the world.
Do you remember the beginning of Grannas Racing? How it all started, with which car?
Yeah, so you might have seen the older videos of the white car that I used to race. So the way Grannas Racing started was I basically ran out of transmissions. The V160 parts dried up. So I was looking for a trans that would work for racing, and I researched it, and I found the Tremec T56 Magnum, and it had the highest power rating that I could find. So I was like, I'm going to give it a shot. I put it in there and went out, and like the first weekend racing on it, we ran 830 and 840 and 830 again. So I was like, it's just as strong as the V160, if not maybe stronger. So we kept going with it and developed it into the faceplated box and got Liberty Gears to work with me on that. And now those boxes are really popular. A lot of guys are running the faceplated T56 Magnums now.
Now we see the MK4 Supra in this stadium. I have so many questions, it would be too long, so, but you want to race and want to have some fun here. But a short term, what is this? Which turbo, which power, which management?
Okay, so yeah, I bought the car for $4,500, which it was in pieces basically, and the front end was cut off and the floor was cut out of it. But it was perfect for what I wanted to do. I wanted to build a chassis on top of a stock body car. So the car worked out really well in that regard. But then I teamed up with Bullet Racing out of Australia. So it has a Bullet billet block. It has a Head Games head on it, which is a stock cast head with ported, polished, and GSC cams. And then the turbo is a Precision 10603. So it's got a 106 compressor side and a 103 turbine wheel. The header is built by Virtual Works Racing. Intake manifold is a CPC. The intercooler is 12 inches thick, so it's giant. We actually had a 8-inch thick one, and it wasn't enough. Went up to 12 inches thick, so it's 24 by 12 by 12. So it's a big intercooler, and actually it helped us a lot. So we're still air to air, but it helped us a lot because it put weight up on the front, which we need because it would always wheelie. The transmission is one of my GR1000F Tremec faceplated Magnums. Still has the stock Tremec T56 Magnum gear set faceplated for dog engagement. The clutch is a Bonenfante triple disc, so it's like an adjustable clutch, full race clutch basically. The rear end is my Ultimate IRS cradle or subframe with a DSS 9-inch kit in it. Just pretty much stuff you can buy off the shelf and run. So, yep, I think that's it.
Do you put nitros in?
Yes.
How much?
So we run a 300 shot for this event. We turned it up to a 300. We were running 225. We wanted to see what would happen with a little bigger shot, so we went to 300. And it seems to respond really well.
As a stick shift legend, do you think about it to switch to an automatic transmission at example?
It'll never happen. No, I'm building a new car and it's going to have the same power plant, same drive line basically, except it's going to be a solid axle car.
When we go back in time, what was the reason for maybe a kid that started this passion for racing? Was it a movie or other race driver?
My family is into cars. They're like Chevy stuff. So I grew up around that my whole life. My first car was a Camaro, then I had a Corvette, and then I found turbo stuff, and I got a 300ZX twin turbo, the Z32 model. And after I had a turbo car, that was like, it changed me, and I've had turbo cars ever since. and I got a Supra. The first Supra I got was, I think, 12 or 13 years ago, and an RX-7 that I have had for 15 years. So, yeah, that's how it all started for me, just growing up in it, and my dad and my brothers, and now I definitely have the fastest one in the family, for sure.
Not only in the family.
Yeah.
But when you're sitting together, all their family, are they making jokes about JDM cars when they love V8s from America?
My dad always picked on me when I switched over because, you know, I was supposed to be a domestic boy. I was his son, and I should have stayed with GM. But I think now that he sees what I can do with this car, he's pretty proud of it.
I think so. And he can be. It's not only a beautiful car, it's a damn fast car. Yes. Yesterday I was staying on the start. One of my personal car dreams happened. I was watching you racing 1 meter, in Germany we say meter, in front of you, and it was amazing. But what happened yesterday? What for a mistake happened?
So I set the clutch up a little bit too tight. The track was really tight, and I figured it could handle pretty much whatever I wanted to throw at it, but I set up just a little bit too tight. So what happened was the clutch drug the motor down, and it bogged, and it couldn't come back from it. So it tugged the motor down too far, and it stalled, basically.
Can you say honestly how many engines you blown up?
Just the one that you saw in the video where the fire came out. That was the only one I blew up that was like in this car. So they've been pretty reliable for me. I get about 50 passes out of these motors before I refresh them. So they've been pretty reliable. In the white car, I've blown up probably 4 or 5 cast block motors. That was at about 1,500 horsepower. Anytime you go over that with the cast block, you really need to go bill it. And that's, you know, I'm probably making 2,200, 2,300 now, so.
The first day I arrive here, I see you and your team fixing little problems on the engine.
Yep.
How important is this team for you? How important is that they work together and everything happens so fast? Because for me, it's amazing what you do maybe in a night or something like that when you do racing.
Yeah, so I mean, my crew guys are super dedicated to me, and it's really important to me because, I mean, that's honestly like my life on the line out there going that fast. So we try to go over everything in the car before every run, every 2 runs at least. But yeah, we had oiling issues. We had oil coming out of the cam seals, and it made a mess twice, and we've spent about 3 hours each time cleaning it all up to get it ready for the next run. Looks like we got it solved now. We got no oil coming out. We added another breather line to the block, and that seems to have solved it. So I think we're in good shape now.
Is it possible that we maybe see a Grannas Racing Tesla or Electrica?
Probably not. I mean, I own a Tesla Plaid myself.
Yeah.
So I like them. They're unique in that way, but I don't really have any passion for it right now. Yeah.
I was yesterday driving for the first time in my life a Tesla plate here on the highways, and I was amazed what this car delivers. Yes. But an hour later, I was staying in the start and listening to these cars, and I said, okay, it's fucking fast, this Tesla, but it doesn't give you this.
Right. It doesn't give you the same kind of like emotional feel when you're driving it, like a stick shift, like Supra, even an 800 or 1,000 horsepower Supra would give you. It doesn't give you that same kind of. You don't like hear the car running. You don't get that response that when you push down the pedal, you hear it. The Plaid will suck you back in the seat like a roller coaster is how I would describe it. Like it's an intense feeling, but it's just not quite the same.
Thank you very much. It was a real nice talk and a big honor for me.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.